Yeah. Oh, you need something, pal?
Yeah.
Sushi doesn't smell good coming up.
This. I think it's balm. It's balm for my lips.
Balm. I need some balm.
I had a lot of grinder hookups the last couple weeks, and now my
And you're
lips
sharing
are like
your fork with
sandpaper.
me. And drinking out of my beer bottle.
I wash.
Oh, dude. Yeah, come on.
I
What
washed
if you
my
have
lips.
a type of herpes I don't have? Huh?
It's not showing though.
Think about other people.
I am. If I had an outbreak, I wouldn't have shared a fork with you. I haven't had an outbreak in weeks.
Root in the fruit. The brute in the fruit. The brute.
The fruit and the food.
Welcome to the Brute and the Fruit, everybody. I'm Kirk, and
I'm Burger.
we're with, as always, producer Tim.
Thanks for having me.
As always, of course.
Thank you for having
Thanks
us.
for having us.
Yep, we're trying to do this professional, and we need all hands on deck, so I'm glad we're all here.
I'm glad that you've decided to keep showing up. I know that you have a lot going on in your personal life.
Of course,
You're
this is
a
my
busy
main.
man,
This
yeah.
is my main priority, guys. This is a business endeavor.
Well, then let's get down to business right away. Burger, let's get into it. You have the news?
Yeah, I've been accumulating some stories. There's a lot going on in the world these days.
Yeah,
We want to stay up to date on the news and the facts and the realities of this world.
definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, we can't allow ourselves to be completely absorbed into the simulation. We have
Not
to
too
have our
silly.
wits about
Not too
us.
silly, guys.
Okay. All right.
Nothing too silly.
Shit.
Okay, we're counting the swears still. I don't have the clicker, Kirk, but we're doing it digitally now. In post.
That's right. All right. I'll try to wash my mouth. I'm sorry.
Watch your mouth. Thank you.
All right, this is an article from livescience.com. Magic mushrooms grow in man's blood after
Oh.
injection with shroom tea.
Yeah, I've heard about this.
Yes. Tim, you sent me this one. A man brewed a tea from magic mushrooms and injected the concoction into his veins. Several days later, he ended up at the emergency department with a fungus growing in his blood. The man spent 22 days in the hospital, with 8 of those days in the intensive care unit where he received treatment for multi-system organ failure. Now released, he's still being treated with a long-term regimen of antibiotic and antifungal drugs, according to a description of the case published January 11th. I wonder if he's done this on purpose, like as an
Oh,
experiment,
he
or
did.
he's a drug user.
He's a drug user, and I just wanted to share this with you to point out how bad it is to use drugs and how bad drugs are for people recreationally.
I think that's just stupidity. Is what that is. I mean,
Drugs are bad. You shouldn't do them. This is what happens when you try to use
I'm going to
mushrooms.
take this tea
Uh-huh.
and I'm going to inject it into my bloodstream.
That's what the druggies do.
What
Well,
a
I mean,
fucking moron.
You know, a lot of people smoke marijuana. They don't make marijuana tea and then inject it into their veins. I wonder if it was still hot when he did it. The case, quote, underscores the need for ongoing public education regarding the dangers attendant to the use of this and other drugs in ways than they are prescribed, unquote, the doctors wrote.
Prescribed. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
prescribing him
They're
to make
prescribing
mushroom
shrooms.
tea.
And then people are taking it wrong. I just thought I was supposed to put it in this syringe that
I
I
wasn't
have
supposed to
under
put
my
it
bed.
in the syringe with a needle and then stick it straight into my butt cheeks.
Well, you didn't say I wasn't supposed to.
How was I supposed to know?
This is the kind of thing that happens in a country where they don't have a very, organized government, and they're like Christian based.
Or it's just what happens when people try on purpose to be absolutely over the top and ridiculous and try to maybe hurt themselves so that other people can say, hey, that's pretty cool.
That's just
This is like the
stupid.
modern Jackass. It's like they used to just like fall down hills or ride grocery carts over curbs. Now they're just like, why don't you inject yourself with this mushroom tea?
It's kind of like
like butt
wrestling.
chugging.
It
Like
used to
butt
be
chugging.
just
Do
like
people
you
still
get
do that?
angry and you fight, but now it's like, oh, we got to have playtime with acting and opera, wrestling.
Yeah.
pro
I've never
wrestling.
heard of it. I've never actually been in the same room as somebody who was butt chugging. I've never gone to a party where somebody was butt
Boofing?
chugging.
See, of all people in the room, that would have been when I would have put my money on you. To be around people who were butt chugging.
No, you can see it on like college dorm porn when they're like, it's a bunch of dudes who are like, yeah, chug this booze up your ass and then suck my dick.
Oh,
The man found
God.
online reports that described the potential therapeutic
disgusting.
effects of hallucinogens such as LSD and psilocybin mushrooms, which prompted him to boil down shrooms into a mushroom tea. He filtered the tea by drawing it through a cotton swab before injecting it into his body. This guy sounds like...
An asshole.
This guy sounds
He
intelligent.
sounds like an asshole.
Sounds intelligent. In the following days, he became lethargic and nauseated, and his skin began to yellow. He soon developed diarrhea and began vomiting blood.
So he had jaundice.
That's what it sounds like. Sounds like jaundice. His family found him and took him to the emergency room, noting concern that he also seemed very confused. The doctors noted...
Like all the time or before he injected this? Or-
Yeah, it's just like, this has been happening for
He was
years.
confused about life.
He was
and
just always confused.
How does
But now he's
things
confused
where-
and puking. And he's yellow. The doctors noticed that he could not participate in a meaningful interview due to his altered mental state. Multiple organs, including the liver and kidneys, began to fail, and the man was transferred to the ICU. His blood tested positive for a bacterial infection with the microbe
Brettanomyces.
and a fungal infection from psilocybin cubensis.
Psilocybin cubensis.
Yeah, of course. Meaning the magic mushroom he injected was now growing in his blood.
Ooh.
In addition to antibiotic and antifungal drugs, the man needed to be placed on a ventilator after he experienced acute respiratory failure, where fluid builds up in the air sacs of the lungs. Thankfully, the patient survived this ordeal and was later discharged from the hospital.
Thankfully, really?
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like a tragedy. He's going to be allowed back in the world.
See, this is the problem with Western society, the Christian-based, American-style society where you can do what you want, and there's no rule of law. There's no religious basis for the reasoning, really. That's righteous, like Muslims.
What? Okay.
Research suggests that psilocybin may be a promising treatment for depression, anxiety, and substance abuse, the authors noted, but only if taken safely. In most research studies, scientists administer the drug in pill form, but in a few instances, doctors delivered psilocybin via an intravenous injection, according to a 2018 report published in the journal Neuropharmacology. Jesus Christ, these words are humongous.
Wait a minute.
So the guy was basing off science.
Okay.
Western science.
Interesting. So how is it different? How did he do it differently than...
I'm guessing maybe he didn't learn how to do it properly. He just thought, well, I should probably just... This is probably what they do.
Well, it's the kind of thing they do with other drugs, those drug addict people. Not what we condone.
But these injections, done by professionals, are given in tightly controlled doses and under medical supervision, and they do not contain any fungi. The compound psilocybin alone is not alive and cannot grow in the body.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So this guy injected fungus.
This guy injected
himself.
fungus into his own blood. This is a demented individual.
All right. Well, thanks.
So yeah, there we go. That's that. There's a little more, but I think we've made our point. Here we go. Bigfoot hunting season subject of Oklahoma lawmakers' bill.
Bigfoot hunting season?
Yes.
There's a season you can't hunt Bigfoot and can?
Well, let's find out.
They don't want you out there with the other hunters in case they decide you're prey.
Oh, okay.
A state lawmaker in Oklahoma introduced a bill that would create the country's first Bigfoot hunting season.
Oh,
Admitting that the
okay.
legislation is more about attracting tourists than catching mythic apes, State Representative Justin Humphrey told the Oklahoman he's not really a Bigfoot believer, but he keeps an open mind.
So what they're doing is they're going to make a bunch of idiots pay to come look for Bigfoot.
And that kind of legitimizes it in a way because it's like, hey, we have a season as if they're real.
That's so just shady.
I have been in the woods all my life, and I've never seen any sign of Bigfoot, the Republican said. See, who says Republicans aren't open-minded? He says he's not a Bigfoot believer, but he keeps an open mind.
I like it.
His name
For
is
money.
Humphrey.
For money.
I've never heard Bigfoot, but I have some people that I know that are good, solid people who will guarantee you 100% that they have had an experience with Bigfoot.
And they'll also guarantee 100% that they will pay a fee for a license to hunt said Bigfoot, and thus just be giving away money for something that won't happen.
Well, they want to be legal because I'm sure they faced a lot of obstacles while searching for Bigfoot. And if only those obstacles were eliminated, they would find Bigfoot.
There you go. That's a possibility. Humphrey's one-page bill would order the Oklahoma Wildlife Conservation Commission to promulgate rules establishing a Bigfoot hunting season, complete with annual season dates and any necessary specific hunting licenses and fees. There you go.
Oh my God.
Bigfoot has already captured the imagination of many Oklahomans. The town of Honobia holds a Bigfoot festival every year that includes a 5K run, live entertainment, and a Bigfoot storytelling. Ooh. Allowing a proper Bigfoot hunt would be
I
one
never
more draw
heard
to
of a
festivities.
Bigfoot in Oklahoma.
See, this is the
That's because
problem
we
with our
live in
modern
Washington.
age.
We have
is
plenty of
like,
sightings here.
we have so much BS going on with people saying whatever they want online, and it leads to these ridiculous beliefs. What we need is something like Dotong Ryong and Masayawara to they're competing ideas that come to a consensus in Mufakat.
Huh?
What is this?
What?
What are these
Am
words?
is he having a stroke right now?
No, this is the kind
are
of
words
system
that-
they have in one of my favorite countries, Indonesia,
Oh,
where they have
okay.
a system that's partially influenced by Western culture and partially influenced by their Muslim heritage. And it's beautiful, really, because it doesn't result in this kind of nonsense.
Okay.
Having a license and a tag would give people a way to prove they participated in the hunt, Humphrey told The Hill. Again, the overall goal is to get people to our area to enjoy the natural beauty and to have a great time. And if they find Bigfoot while they're at it, well, that's even a bigger prize. The state representative added that he doesn't want anyone to kill Bigfoot. He hopes to include language to the bill to secure a $25,000 prize
Asshole.
for the first person who captures the beast.
Fucking asshole.
That's like,
What a patronizing dickhead.
it's
Hey,
also just like
Kirk,
you're
come
trying
on.
to get people
Easy.
here for tourism. So $25,000, that's the thing that you're gonna give $25,000 to somebody to catch something that doesn't. Couldn't you make it a bigger incentive, like
That
$1
town's
million?
gonna look- it's gonna look
$1 million
like-
bounty.
He actually thinks it might be real.
It's gonna be like that scene in Jaws when all the fishermen show up because that ad was in the paper to catch a shark, and all these guys from out of nowhere are coming to hunt the shark.
Exactly.
can catch
a shark.
I'm gonna get myself Bigfoot in Oklahoma.
I can hunt anything.
You know what? Maybe Humphreys is related to a Bigfoot, and this is the way to throw everyone off their scent because Bigfoot are really known to be in the hills, in the mountains,
That makes a
Humphrey?
lot.
not
of
in the
sense.
not in the Great Plains of Oklahoma.
Yeah. Okay.
What's
I think
Humphreys
you might.
again?
This makes a lot of sense.
Humphreys is the Republican guy in Oklahoma
Yeah.
that's passing this bill.
Humphrey.
Humphrey, sorry.
He's free of it.
Humphrey.
That's a good
He
way
humps
to live.
freely.
Oh.
Here's an article from CNN. I want to say I've had this on here for a while, but I don't remember if we actually went over it. Chinese aviation bodies suggest flight attendants wear diapers on board planes. Does that sound familiar to you?
It kind of does, but I don't. What's their reasoning?
Well, let's see. On November 25th, the Civil Aviation Administration of China.
Oh, yes, I think we've talked about this before.
Yeah, I think you might be
They
right.
want them to. That way, they don't spread germs, right?
Right, they just shit their pants
Right.
instead.
They shit their pants.
Yeah,
instead.
which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Gross.
Disgusting.
All right. Woman wins
Mhm.
wins $47 million lottery jackpot with numbers from husband's dream.
Ooh.
A Toronto woman who has used the same lottery numbers since they came to her husband in a dream 2 decades ago scored a nearly $50 million jackpot with them. Dang Pravataudam told Ontario Lottery and Gaming Corps officials that the numbers she chose for the December 1st, 2020 Lotto Max drawing were the same ones she used in her lottery drawings that her husband dreamed about 20 years ago. Pravataram's persistence paid off when the ticket earned her a $47.1 million jackpot. She said the winnings will bring some welcome relief as she was laid off from her job last spring amid the COVID-19 pandemic. With this money, I will be capable of helping my children out more, whatever they want, and I will be able to buy it for them, a car and new clothes, she said. This is a woman, I did a little more research into her. She's from Laos, which is a communist country.
Okay.
They have a one-party system. It's the only legal party, it says. I thought it was very unusual.
Wow.
I watched a video of her also. She also was very adamant about wanting to buy diamonds. I think helping out her family was secondary.
Is Laos an island?
No, it's landlocked. It's like surrounded by all these other countries in Southeast Asia.
Oh, because Indonesia is the largest archipelago in the world, consisting of 5 major islands and about 30 smaller groups.
That's really interesting. That's a really interesting fact about Indonesia. I don't understand the relevance.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wanted to include that. I thought it was relevant.
Same region, I guess. Yeah,
It's important.
Now, Burger, I want to know. Here's the story I want to know about this woman. She's been playing these numbers for 20 years. How many times has she got close?
Well, in the research I did, there was no mention of her getting close. So this was a big one-off for her. And I'm happy for her. I could, behind her mask, you can kind of tell that she's maybe happy.
Well, I'd be happy too. So here's the question. If you were to win that large amount of money, do you take the big payout or do you have them just pay you over time?
I would take the big payout.
Because it's less money, but you will see.
You'll see it all in one lump. So like a $50 million jackpot here, you'd probably get like
25?
30 million or whatever, which is
fine. Wait. Isn't it like 20% taxes?
Oh, I thought it was more than that. I thought it was close to 50.
If you take it all in one lump sum, it's like close to 50%.
Would you take it lump sum? What was your answer?
I would take the.
I would take how much the money was.
Yeah.
Why? Why wouldn't you just take it over time?
Because I've got a lot of shit I want to get. I need to buy houses. I need to.
And there's a chance.
Your first payment could be like hundreds of thousands.
That's not enough.
To do what?
To do anything these days.
What do you mean?
A couple $100,000.
Well, and you never know too, because who knows? Like, what if you have like a 2008 situation where everything just goes tanked,
you gotta
and then there's no guarantee that you'll get that money.
And what if there's a total collapse? Imagine this: there's a total collapse of the dollar, and the entire nation totally collapses from because we've printed so much money, hyperinflation. China comes in, takes over the Chinese army, and the whole country is absolutely obliterated. Then what happens to your money?
Yeah.
So you take it all in one lump sum, you invest a couple $1 million into gold, and then you hoard the gold, and you buy silver and you hoard it.
China
maybe some
sen?
Bitcoin.
Is that their money? Sen?
I don't know what the Chinese dollar is.
Well, the local currency of Indonesia is rupiah, and 1 rupiah is equal to 100 sen. So I don't know if that's related, but I just was trying to get a concept of what we're talking about here.
Rupiah.
Here's an article from Forbes. I thought this was pretty interesting. Large numbers of healthcare and frontline workers are refusing COVID-19 vaccine. Despite the COVID-19 death count in the United States rapidly accelerating, a startlingly high percentage of healthcare professionals and frontline workers throughout the country who have been prioritized as early recipients of the coronavirus vaccine are reportedly hesitant or outright refusing to take it despite clear scientific evidence that the vaccines are safe and effective.
Okay. Well, what's the point of that?
Well, I shall continue.
Oh, you stopped as if you had made your point.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
Okay. A recent survey by the Kaiser Family Foundation found that 29% of the healthcare workers were hesitant to receive the vaccine, citing concerns related to potential side effects and a lack of faith in the government to ensure the vaccines were safe. Frontline workers in the United States are disproportionately black and Hispanic. The pandemic has taken an outsized toll on this segment of the population, which has reportedly accounted for roughly 65% of the fatalities in cases where there are race and ethnicity data. A study published by the journal The Lancet over the summer found healthcare workers of color were more than twice as likely than their white counterparts to test positive for the coronavirus. According to a Pew Research Center poll published in December, vaccine skepticism is highest among black Americans, as less than 43% said they would definitely or probably get a COVID-19 vaccine. Dr. Juvati told NPR that there's no transparency between the pharmaceutical companies or research companies or the government sometimes on how many people from black and Latino communities were involved in the research of the vaccine. So yeah, there's a huge number of people who you would think would be absolutely thrilled to get it, and they don't want it. Roughly 55% of surveyed New York Fire Department firefighters said they would not get the coronavirus vaccine. Los Angeles Times reported Thursday that hospital and public officials in Riverside, California have been forced to figure out how to best allocate unused doses after an estimated 50% of frontline workers in the country refused the vaccine. So I just thought that was pretty interesting.
Did it talk at all about agricultural workers?
No, I didn't specify. It's just little frontline workers and healthcare workers.
Because since we're talking about agricultural, about 90% of Indonesia's economy, or their population rather, is involved in agricultural work. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Why Indonesia? Why do you keep mentioning Indonesia?
They're just a country that's been intriguing me lately.
Have you visited Indonesia?
No, not yet. Probably I will soon.
Okay.
Eventually.
Well, here's an article from PressAggregate.com. Scientists have described a dinosaur's butthole in exquisite detail.
Hey, all right. About time.
Yeah.
Been waiting for
I
this.
don't know about this one.
I thought I was the only one who used the words exquisite and butthole in the same sentence.
Well, that's good. We got this. We have the Brute and the Fruit resident butthole expert Burger on hand to really break things down. So
That's right. I know a lot
Thank
about
you.
buttholes, about the
Okay,
different
guys,
kinds.
let's move on.
When a dog-sized Psittacosaurus was residing out its days on Earth, it was in all probability involved with mating, consuming, and never being killed by different dinosaurs. It would by no means even have crossed its thoughts that 120 million or so years later, scientists can be peering intensely up its clacker.
Clacker.
Clacker, huh?
However, that is exactly what they've accomplished, yielding probably the most detailed description of a non-avian dinosaur's cloaca. Is that where the word comes from? The catch-all gap used for peeing, pooping, mating, and laying eggs. Okay.
Oh, it's an all-for-one hole.
Cloaca.
Wow.
It's like a bird.
It's a super hole.
That's what birds have.
A super hole. Okay.
Yeah. This Swiss Army knife of buttholes is
super hole.
frequent
Nice.
all through the animal kingdom at this time. All birds, amphibians, reptiles, and even a couple of mammals possess a cloaca. But we all know little concerning the cloacae of dinosaurs, together with their anatomy, what they appeared like, and the way the animals used them.
No wonder we think they're like birds.
Yeah, because they're cloacas.
Because
Because they're clackers.
Their clackers are a lot like a bird's clacker.
Mm-hmm.
Very similar clackers. You can do anything with these clackers.
And it's an all-in-one hole.
Mm-hmm. It's a multimedia extravaganza of holes. I noticed the cloaca several years ago, after we had reconstructed the color patterns of this dinosaur using a remarkable fossil on display at the Senckenberg Museum in Germany, which clearly preserves its skin and color patterns, explained paleobiologist Jacob Vinther of the University of Bristol within the UK. It took a long while before we got around to finish it off, because no one has ever cared about comparing the exterior of the cloacal openings of living animals, so it was largely uncharted territory. That's one way to refer to as a butthole that nobody ever gets too close to. So that is what the group did, evaluating the fossilized cloaca to modern cloacae. Their specimen is the one non-avian dinosaur fossil recognized to have a preserved cloaca. However, because of the means of the fossil's position, the inner anatomy of this opening has not been preserved. Solely the exterior vent is seen. This means there was plenty of info the researchers could not gauge. We found the vent does look differently in many different groups of tetrapods, But in most cases, it doesn't tell you much about an animal's sex, said anatomist and animal reproductive system expert Diane Kelly of the University of Massachusetts. Those distinguishing features are tucked inside the cloaca, and unfortunately, they are not preserved in this fossil. Even so,
Unfortunately, big time.
yeah,
I
very
really
big
wish they were
I
disappointment.
want to
there.
see inside
Those
there.
interior details.
Huge disappointment. Yeah, some people are really interested in that type of stuff. I mean, even
Spelunking, right?
I don't. Yeah,
That's the kind of thing you do, is spelunking of...
yeah, but I do. It's like what I do is more just like fishing. Like I put the thing in the. I don't like.
You
I
don't
don't
peer
examine the
inside?
interior.
I mean, you do in a way.
Even so, that exterior anatomy may include some fairly attention-grabbing clues as to what some dinosaur cloacae appeared like, and the way they have been used. Also, the dinosaur's cloaca is not like some other recognized fashionable animal. The group was in a position to establish a number of options frequent with crocodilian reptiles akin to alligators and crocodiles and birds. Okay.
So the big news is that we have a new thing to call a butthole, which is a clacker.
Yeah, I think it's really important that we refer to the butthole as a clacker and that we try to spread that and make it part of pop culture.
Hashtag for the clacker.
Hashtag for the clacker. Can we put that on our Twitter handle? Like
Clack on, clack
I'm not
on.
sure if that's really gonna work with our sponsor.
I feel like our sponsor is a little rigid if they're not going to allow something that's
I mean, why
very
they?
silly.
I just feel like
They should expect that from the brute and the fruit.
I thought that would be
There's kind of a language barrier between us and the sponsor, and the way that I described us to them may have been not exactly what they expected. So
What do you mean?
we might have to go in a slightly better direction.
Oh, what sort of direction? I thought the direction we
I
were on
thought-
was
Positive
fine.
direction. A better one.
A better one? I feel like we're on a great trajectory
I
here.
mean, if we're not going to be allowed to be talking about dinosaur buttholes, I don't know if I want to talk about anything.
Yeah, I don't want to be
Well, I
censored.
don't know why you guys. We have plenty of good content that we put out. I don't know why we have to.
Well, I'm fascinated by dinosaur asshole. I'm fascinated by a hole that does everything.
Okay, we don't need to sink to those levels though to like create good content.
The
That was
scientific
science.
level?
You don't
What
have
was
to
that from?
pretend that you don't have to
Science.com?
Yeah, the press aggregate.
Science.com.
It's not the kind of science that's shown in the best nations, but all I'm saying is there's more positive things to focus on.
The science in the best nations. I didn't know they had different sciences places. It's like Borat. Like
Yeah, science is science. I mean, it's a universal language.
Yeah, but what we focus on, like as a nation, it's like Indonesia has a lot better focuses for their science relating to agriculture and useful things.
Indonesia again.
I really feel uncomfortable with your obsession with Indonesia lately. I mean, did you see did you watch a YouTube documentary about the history of Indonesia?
I've got material here I've been looking over, and it's looking very impressive.
Why though? Why are you looking over that material?
It's very cheap to live there. Like, we could go live there.
What?
They've got an interesting flag. Their capital is the most Instagrammed on Earth of any capital.
Oh, okay. Well,
Pretty
then
cool
let's
place.
just move over there.
Well, why don't we just move
Holy
over
cow!
there?
What happened?
Of the
What
Instagram?
happened?
No,
What
that-
happened?
Well,
to the,
I don't
the
know if I
office?
want to go in there right now, but I feel like if we smooth out relations with them, we could maybe.
With them who? With them who?
Indonesia.
But what? We don't. I don't have any beef with Indonesia. Do you have beef with Indonesia?
Not that I know of. I mean, I might have banged some Indonesians.
Well, you guys know our sponsors from there. A Lucky Sunshine Company.
Oh, you mean the company that you're working? That you're the liaison for?
The people who pay for this show.
But you're the Okay, yeah. I knew that you were the liaison for.
I'm the importer. I'm the liaison
Yeah.
in the U.S. for all of North America.
And we're a branch underneath you, who's underneath them.
Correct.
Okay, yes, that's right. I do remember that. Yes.
Thank you. and I just wanted to point out some facts about them because they wanted that on the show, and I don't think it's a lot to ask because it's just useful information to know about this great country.
Okay. I mean, I don't have any problem with saying nice things about Indonesia, but I'm not
I
comfortable being
I
censored.
personally have never been there, so I can't. How about I tell you what? Let's go to a break real quick. Let's go to a break. We'll get this figured out. That way we're not on air. We'll go to a break. We'll go to a break real quick, and we'll be back. We'll be back with the Brute and the Fruit.
Fine.
Legend has it there's a place out west where you can order a cheeseburger and chicken fried steak at 3 in the morning. A place where the bartenders are old school and they unapologetically free pour cocktails in a bar where it's always happy hour. Well, folks, it turns out the legend is real. Don's Restaurant and Lounge has been a staple of Marysville, Washington since 1972, and the vintage decor reflects our dedication to maintaining that feeling of living in a simpler time. The dated dim light fixtures and the imperfect upholstery transport you back to a time where women were women and men were men, and anyone in between was committed. Our no-nonsense bartenders are sure to slay you with their small-town charm and beautifully imbalanced cocktails, and with Don's no-cutoffs policy, you can drink to your little heart's desire. No one's gonna tell you that you've had too much. So come on down to Don's Restaurant, located off I-5 exit 199 in Marysville. We have ample parking, great food, better drinks, and we're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So, as you know, we've been sponsored by Lucky Sunshine Company that we've been advertising the Thunderclap condoms.
Yes,
Right?
the Thunderclap condoms.
Have you guys had an opportunity to use these things yet?
Define use.
Not exactly.
Pass. Have you?
I have. Tim?
Okay, that's good. Well, I mean, Helen's not. We don't need to use them.
Why not?
You know,
I don't want to talk about
past
that.
a certain age.
Bird, come on, it's an ad. It's an ad. Let's
Keep going.
Yeah.
All right. Well, as you know, we have a lot of different flavors and shapes for these Thunderclap condoms.
Like fist.
Like fist and vanilla caramel.
So weird, Tim. I don't know why.
I don't remember.
Well, they're an Indonesian company. There's
There's different tastes in parts of the world. We need to respect that.
Yeah, I haven't tasted one of the fist because we got a variety pack, and I opened them up and tried tasting them and seeing,
Tasting them.
Well, yeah. I mean, I want to make sure that
Burgers.
I want to be able to describe.
Yeah.
What these things taste like, and if I'm gonna feed it to somebody else, I don't want to stick something in their mouth that I think is not gonna be something that they like Dr. Surgical Glove.
Wouldn't that just be standard condom?
Essentially. So yeah, I tasted that one and it was exactly how I imagined it to be. Dish detergent, same thing. Cherry was all right. Banana, I think, is fantastic.
I find it weird that there is like a hand put sticker with hand printed writing on it.
Well, they're packaged by hand.
I just thought that was weird. But anyways,
like most high quality things are packaged by hand, so or at least are even produced by hand.
Yeah, I mean, it's the highest quality type of stuff that we like to advertise here. We don't advertise junk.
Right.
We advertise stuff that we would actually use ourselves.
So how was the use?
The use was fine.
You actually used one of them?
I used one of them, yeah.
And they work?
It worked fantastically.
Okay.
Yeah, so I had a hookup on Grindr, and we couldn't
really... Like a sandwich?
No, it's the app. It's the dating app, and by dating, I mean hookup. So, we decided, because neither of us could have company over to our house for whatever reasons, so we ended up meeting. He's like, I know a good place. And so we ended up meeting at Winco, and I followed him back into the store and into the cooler section where they have all the beer.
The beer cooler.
Yeah, the beer
The
cooler.
beer cave.
Yeah, the beer cave, and it's got a couple like alleyways down, so you can kind of sneak and you can go in there
In
and
the beer cave?
yeah, and it's amazing like how few people go in there because basically they have all the essentials outside like Budweiser and it's Winco.
Outside,
so
like outside the store.
no, like outside of the beer cooler, they have like Budweiser and Coors Light, and they have all those.
And
Oh,
if they
you-
open
most
the
people
door
go
to get the beer, they'd hear people in there.
They might, but most people they're not paying attention. They've got kids.
They have children, so they're not watching.
So you went back into this. I'm trying to picture what you're talking about. Is this like how some gas stations they have like it's like a beer fridge that you
Exactly.
walk into?
It's a
Right.
walk-in fridge.
Oh, okay. You went into one of those?
Yeah,
That's cold.
Dude.
it was really cold, but like it was, we were both kind of excited for the situation. So you get heated up, your body temperature raises when you're in a situation like that with somebody.
Oh my god.
So I had the opportunity to use the Thunderclap condoms. So I used the banana flavored ones, and it was the stippled version. They call them love
yeah.
divots. They're like they have like
The
a bunch
love
of
divot.
yeah. So it adds it's for pleasure or whatever. It doesn't. I don't know about for men, but it happened to be the only one in my pocket at the time. So that was the one I used. I don't think for dudes this whole stipple thing really has that much of an effect on them. They're more concerned about the depth and reaching the G spot and all that shit. Anyways, it was amazing how well it worked. And because normally I don't wear condoms because they're
The
they
G spot.
they spoil everything. Yeah, the prostate.
You don't wear it. I don't even want to get into this right now on this. So Thunderclap condoms, they're a Lucky Sunshine Company brand. I
hate to call this an endorsement, but it's information about them if you're a potential customer.
I think this is how they would like us to. So they want us using the products. Don't you think? Like I said, they've got cherry flavor, banana flavor, vanilla caramel fist. They have different
Dr. Circuit
textures
as well.
for the condoms. They have rib textured and stipple and bubble. So there's a huge variety.
I like
they have
how-
variety packs too, but
Yeah.
like I said, I've used the stipple one. It works
I've
really
heard
great.
of stipple, but I haven't seen the bubble. I should open one of those up. See what
The
that's
bubble
about.
one, it has like a really thick end to it, so it adds
Oh,
like if you're kind of narrow,
okay.
you know what I mean?
At the tip,
it adds like girth and
it's a girth adder.
it adds more mass.
It's kind
To,
of
as the commercial
it's like
said,
an
to
air
the love
bubble?
delivery vessel, it adds more mass.
Oh,
So
have you guys tried filling any of these up with water?
I haven't. I filled
Why
it up
would
with
I do
several
that?
different fluids.
it's
The
not
water
for
was
filling
not
with
one of them.
It's for having.
But you
sexual
want to make
intercourse
sure
with.
that they're like. I'm just saying, I'm a little bit suspect.
Why?
I've never had condoms come in Ziploc bags before.
Well, it's like a nice Ziploc. It's not. It's not a Ziploc. It's like a little like baggie you would get something small in, and it's not fucking. I'm sorry. No swearing. It's not a like sandwich bag, right?
I mean,
Well, in case you're like gonna use it, I feel like the reason they do this is because in case you're gonna use it and you think you're gonna use it, but you don't, you could put it back. I'm a little zippy.
That makes a lot of sense because sometimes you're in a situation and then you kind of get it
Sometimes it's a
ready,
iffy situation.
and then they're like, "Wait, I don't want."
Did you test it out, Kirk?
a couple of them.
Just two?
Little stipple. I tried one of the stipple ones.
How was that?
It looked like I was pouring water through a cheese grater.
That sounds odd.
Like the water was just coming out all these holes. They were like holes, manufactured hole.
I don't understand that. That sounds like you got a faulty product.
Might be a bad product. It might have just
Are you
been a
saying
bad
it
one.
was
How many
leaking?
did you try?
Just two.
Well, that's not enough to be conclusive, so
You're right.
Yeah,
I should
and I
just
hope.
dismiss your findings.
Okay.
Yeah, it was faulty.
It's a good
I didn't.
product.
Mine didn't have that I know of.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like I examined it. I had to get the fuck out of there. Heck, I had to get the heck out of there
Yeah.
before something.
You were in a Winco.
I was at Winco, and I didn't see signs up that said like "Don't bang in the cooler," but it's like one of those unspoken like things that people agree on. Like it's like a civil thing.
It's cold in there.
It's cold, but like I said, you warm up pretty quick.
Okay. Well,
So Thunderclap condoms, a Lucky Sunshine Company product. Thanks for using them.
Yeah, you can find them at Walgreens, Bar Greens. Most pharmacies carry them, and of course you'll find a lot of gas stations. But pretty much any pharmacy.
Thank you for supporting us in the right way and not being a pain in the ass. Thank you.
Of course.
You're appreciated, unlike some people.
I'd appreciate it if you went and got tested.
For what?
Yeah, I don't know why he would need to.
I'm just saying.
Tested for what? There's no reason.
The leaks. The condom.
He can't impregnate anyone.
That's true.
He's fine. Don't get tested. There's no reason to get tested because you're protected by Thunderclap condoms. Thank you.
That's all I need to hear. I have no desire to go get pricked by a needle. I have no desire to learn any information about myself that I'm not ready to hear. Like what sort of disease I may or may not be harboring.
You wouldn't have any if you only used Thunderclap condoms.
Well, I went a long time without using Thunderclap condoms.
And we're glad to be here supporting you now.
I might be past the point of no return.
Well, we can't conclude what happened beforehand, so any test results now would be inconclusive. But I want to say on behalf of the company that you are protected now.
Well, I feel really good about that. And anybody using these condoms should feel protected.
Exactly. Do you guys know that Jakarta's Gelora Bung Karno Stadium is one of the largest stadiums in the world? When it was completed in 1962 to host the Asian Games, its original capacity was 120,800 people, which would have made it the second largest today.
Where's this stadium located?
What? What was the name of
This
stadium?
amazing stadium, Gelora Bung Karno, is in Indonesia.
Oh.
There's Indonesia again. Okay. All right. That's neat.
Yeah, I mean, I just thought it was a really cool looking stadium. I didn't know where it was from.
That's really interesting. You know, I heard a theory that like theaters are going to be a thing of the past. And like when Marvel movies come out and stuff, everyone's just going to flock to the stadium, and it'll be like a whole day thing where people just all gather around like this giant screen that they project the movie onto, and that's how movies are going to be in theaters at some point, like after this whole pandemic thing is over.
So they're just going to go to bigger buildings?
Yeah.
Why would they do that?
Because theaters are already kind of like dying down the last few years.
So you're saying they're going to go to like open? They're going to go to open air stadiums.
Better in
yes,
a stadium.
That's a theory.
Wait, so you're assuming we're still going to be under restrictions?
No, well, I mean, I don't know, but
in
that's
the
just,
stadium
is the thing. Like theaters are all going to be shutting down because they're not
movie
being
theaters,
used for
right?
theaters over the last year.
They should just open.
And stadiums are built by the city.
Stadiums are really big. You know, the largest lizard on this earth is the Komodo dragon. And one of the few places, or the only place, that you can view a Komodo dragon is in Indonesia.
That's really interesting.
The reptile man on Highway 2 probably might have one.
Yeah, that guy might have one.
Can the Komodo dragon breathe fire?
Can the Komodo... No, well, that's dumb. Are the Komodo dragon a delicious meat?
Do they eat Komodo dragons in Indonesia?
Yeah, you know so much
No,
about
they
it. Like
wouldn't do that. They're sophisticated people. They have the island of Sumatra there, where world's largest flower, the Rafflesia arnoldi, grows and it weighs up to 15 pounds.
A 15-pound flower?
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty
That's
cool.
really impressive.
Are you?
Its petals grow to 0.5 meters long and 1 inch thick.
I feel like he's trying to get us to. He's like softening a blow about something to us.
Yeah.
I know. Are you
I feel
trying to like?
You're leading to something. I can't tell what it is, but it's all this talk. It's just this unsolicited talk about Indonesia.
Are you just
I don't
like?
know why you
Have
think
you
that.
just been reading up on them since you've been doing so much business?
It's just interesting to me because they're such a great country. I want to learn more.
Okay.
That's all.
So they have the world's largest flower and the second largest stadium.
And the world's largest reptile one.
Well, they have that on Highway 2.
Large of
Yeah. I've
Yeah.
seen Komodo dragons here in America.
well, that's not natural. They have a lot of great stuff. I'm just interested. I don't really want to. I don't think there's any other reason why I need to be interested.
You know, Washington State houses the world's largest building, square footage wise.
I hadn't heard that.
Take that, Indonesia. Yeah.
By volume.
Boeing.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then
Seems
Maine.
fake.
In Maine, they have panda bears in Maine.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't seem real.
Yeah, that's what Maine's known for. It's like known for like 4 things. It's like lighthouses, lobster, Stephen King, and panda bears.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, Indonesia's known for a lot more, so I could talk about them all day, just because I want to.
Okay. So tell me more about the stadium theory, Burger. Like, is it going to be like everyone goes to Safeco Field, or
Yeah, it's like you know, the new Avengers comes out or whatever. So then they hype it up forever,
yeah,
and then people. So then everything it's a super event. Whenever they release a movie, it's a super event because people already do it. It's like they're all these
Boo.
people. I know, but it's these people.
I'm gonna quote a very funny person that I know when it comes to the Avenger movies. This is just they're saying I'd rather choke on my own shit than have to watch any more of those Marvel
Kirk, please.
comic movies.
Don't speak that way.
Yeah,
Why would? I'd rather be choking on my own shit.
Okay.
Have to sit through.
He didn't say that.
the Marvel movies
Not
are
the S word.
absolutely awful. The people will talk to me like about certain nerd shit, and
They're
I'll
just
be
not
into
for
it.
me.
Yeah,
I'm not
I
gonna say
know.
they're awful. I'm just gonna say they're not for
Yeah,
me.
they're not good. And then they'll be like, they'll mention the MCU. I'm like
The Marvel
MCU?
Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, and I'm like, what the
Oh.
fuck is that? Like, oh, you haven't seen Avengers Endgame? I'm like, I think I've seen 3 Marvel movies, maybe.
Which ones?
I've seen Iron Man.
Okay.
Which one? The first one?
Yeah, the first one, which I
Okay.
thought was good.
That's about where I stopped.
Is Deadpool Marvel?
Yeah, but I don't think it's MCU in a sense of like what they're with the main dogs.
Okay. Transformers?
I don't know.
They all kind of seem the same to me.
I feel like Transformers was the start of this nonsense, and then Iron Man was the end of it, like for a reasonable person. And then anyone who kept watching was just like half mind dead.
Well,
Yeah.
I think there was like the X-Men movies. There was Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, yeah.
There
the
was
Spider-Man
there
ones were
was
good.
Batman,
Spider-Man
like the
is
Christopher
Spider-Man
Nolan Batman.
Marvel?
Yeah, it's Marvel.
Batman is DC. Oh, you mean as far as just
the
big time
movies and
super-
stuff,
yeah.
and then Transformers and Iron Man came out. Then after that, that's pretty much all they started doing was
Superhero BS.
Thor, Captain America.
Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as it started becoming big time, the superhero thing, I just totally checked out because I thought it was the dumbest thing ever and I hated it.
You hate a lot of things, though. You hate, like...
Well, yeah, if it's popular.
Like, you hear a baby laughing in the next room, and you cover your ears, and...
It sounds
start
happy.
singing.
I don't like that.
Yeah, somebody plays, like, Walk of Life by Dire Straits, and you throw up in your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
I can't help it. I mean, it's bad, right?
I just feel bad for how dark your spirit is.
Yeah.
Well, I don't. I just think everyone else is wrong, but okay. You say so.
Yeah. So, anyways.
Is that it? You're done with Indonesia?
Oh no, they actually have one
God.
of the largest young populations in the world, with 165 million people under the age of 30, whereas only 8% of the population is aged over 60 years, according to the National Bureau of Statistics, August 2001.
That's probably because a lot of their people got wiped out, like around the World War, to Korean War, Vietnam, that era. Like, you just kind of the fighting going on in
I
that.
mean, they're not
Did
really
French,
Central
the French have
Asia.
control over Indonesia?
You don't need no. Indonesia has the sickest, largest coastline in the world, over 554,000 kilometers.
How's their coronavirus doing over there?
I can't tell you about that. I don't know. Just trying to share some facts here. I'm sure they have their coronavirus well in check.
Yeah, I'm sure
unlike
it's just like
unlike one of these Western countries.
anywhere else. Yeah. Yeah.
I do feel jealous about these people who are so thrilled about the Marvel movies and the Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
It's because like
They have excitement.
They have excitement for something where it feels like we never get, like, when you think about movies like the original Star Wars when it came out, or Jurassic Park or something like that.
I
where
feel
it's
like
just,
that's the
is a
right way
game
to think
changer.
about it, though. It's like this new thing came out. It was really exciting and really good. To be obsessed with it and just expect anything else that's made afterwards that's related to be good is kind of just a dumb way to think. And just to realize, okay, when it first came out and it was a new idea, it was cool. That's the right way to think.
Right.
And to think it's going to continue to be cool is just it's stupid.
Well, because it's not encouraging any new thought.
Yeah. They just rely on
It's like, let's keep going.
berries.
Keep going. Keep going. It's going to keep being good.
Yeah.
No,
or
it's
it's just
not.
like, remember how excited you were when you were a kid and watching Star Trek? Well, now we've got the new Star Trek, and it's just as good.
No, it's not.
It's starring Patrick Stewart as reprising his role as Captain Picard. It's like, we don't want to see 80-year-old Picard.
On 30 September 1965, 6 of the military's most senior officers were killed in action, generally labeled an attempt coup, by the so-called 30th September movement, a group from within the armed forces. Within a few hours, Major General Soeharto mobilized forces under his command and took control of Jakarta. Anti-communists, initially following the army's lead, went on a violent purge of communists throughout the country, killing an estimated 500,000 people and destroying the PKI, which was officially blamed for the crisis. The politically weakened Sukarno was forced to transfer key political and military powers to General Suharto, who had become head of the armed forces. In March 1967, the Indonesian parliament, MPRS, named General Suharto acting president. He was formally appointed president 1 year later. Sukarno lived under virtual house arrest until his death in 1970. In contrast to the storming nationalism, revolutionary rhetoric, and economic failure that characterized the early 1960s under the left-leaning Sukarno, Suharto's pro-Western New Order stabilized the economy but continued the policies of Pancasila.
Well, that's it for this week's show. That's the Brute and the Fruit for you. Burger, where can they find us at?
You can find us on YouTube at The Brute and the Fruit. You can email us at brute.n.fruit.
@gmail.com.
Thank you.
And what we got coming up actually this coming weekend, for those of you listening, January 31st, we're going to be doing a live Twitch watch along with the WWE Royal Rumble as it's happening on the WWE network. So
That's right, folks.
So those of you who have the WWE network, or for whatever reason are going to order on a pay-per-view and you want a companion piece, you can come to our Twitch channel.
You know you'd rather watch us. Listen to us.
And our Twitch channels, I believe, just Brute_N_Fruit.
Yes.
And you'll find us there on Twitch. And so we'll be on Twitch. I believe we'll have the camera going so you can actually see what's going on with us.
Yes.
Potentially.
Yeah, well, we should have the webcam hooked up. And what other audio sites are we on?
We're on everything.
We're on
all the
like
things?
everything.
Yeah, Google,
Spotify?
Apple, Spotify. Yeah.
Pandora failed us because they're pathetic failures. But other than that, we're on like all these other podcast sites and anything you need.
I
Really.
think, and I
Yeah.
think our everything. Yeah, like I said, YouTube. I think decent amount of people are watching the YouTube videos. But yeah, so wherever your podcasts are, I think Buzzsprout is another.
Buzzsprout is our website that carries us, or well, I forget what it's called.
I guess
but
our platform,
our platform,
our
and we have our websites
podcasts.
on there,
yeah,
and that's how we share all these through the various
yeah,
podcasting platforms. There's like 12 of them.
Yeah.
I can't remember the names.
yeah. So yeah, we'll be live on Twitch. And depending on how it goes, it's going to be a Sunday. So depending on how it goes, how we're feeling, there might be an after a watch along of something else afterwards. Depending on how motivated we feel. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm looking forward to it.
yeah, me too.
Even though it's WWE and it's gonna be
It's gonna be
what
terrible.
WWE is, it's always fun to watch it live and
Well,
bash it.
yeah, and the Rumble, like I honestly have no idea what they're gonna do, like what their plans really
From my
are going
understanding,
forward.
there's a porn star who tries to be a little child on a child show, and there's a guy with a burnt face who no one cares about. And it's
You mean
gonna be-
Kane?
It's gonna be boring as fuck.
No, he's talking about oh, what's her name?
Alexa Bliss.
Alexa Bliss and Randy Orton.
Definitely a porn
Okay.
star name.
Oh, definitely a
Yeah,
porn star
absolutely.
name. Yeah,
I don't know what else she could do.
she could pretend to know how to act.
Pretending to know how to act is the key of good cinema.
Yeah.
Porn star.
Or a porn star.
All right. Well, that's it for us. We'll see you Sunday, January 31st on our Twitch channel. Check it out. And in the meantime, if you have any questions or comments or concerns, hit us up. Brute and fruit at gmail.com. There's periods in there. You'll see it. It's everywhere. Or hit us up on Twitter. Have a good one.
Bye.